Wanderers and Crypt Dancers, I am author A.L. Mengel. I'm the author of 13 books, 11 of which are novels, 1, Mona Lisa Becoming a Ghost, which won the gold medal for the best supernatural fiction at the International Book Awards. Welcome to the Era of. This is the series of how art learns from life, and it's an exploration into the creative mind and what in our world influences our art. This particular chapter is a very special chapter called The Three Letters. One of the reasons that it is special is because it covers my own condition. It's called phenylketonuria, PKU for short, which is the topic of my upcoming memoir, which is currently still in production. It covers the extraordinary story of how my mother defied the doctors to incorporate human breast milk for the cerebrosides into the manufactured PKU formulas, and how I can get my nutrition and my protein, because I was born missing an enzyme in my liver to break down all protein products, and if I consume them, they become toxic. They can destroy my mind and my central nervous system. So come with me and explore more deeply into this topic on the Era of. Hey. This is the era of. This is how we build the mind. This is how the mind was built, right? I think. So, this is an interesting journey because it's very unique. It's very... What is it, Mom? It's very unique. It's very... My story. I mean, I think so. Here we are with Mom. Mom, we're going to be talking a lot about the first years of my life. This is the era of the three letters, which is going to go hand in hand with the memoir, Three Letters, that is still in production. And it's going to be an exploration of how you built my mind.
When you were less than 2 weeks old at home and we were enjoying you, we went out to a couple of times and you were just a delight. When it got near that 2 weeks before I got the phone call, we went out to dinner and you started crying or you were pretty inconsolable. And then we went to the clinic in a couple of days and they made us stay there for a while, but they gave you this special diet to follow. And I told them that I was nursing you and I wanted to keep doing that because I know about PKU and that aids brain development. It has cerebrosides in it, which none of the formulas did. And I checked every formula available in the whole U.S. and
Yeah.
They do not have that. And so anyways, they set up a schedule for him to get his blood work checked. And they weren't happy that I was nursing him at that point in time because they had no control over it.
Well, plus, wasn't the diet that I was placed on to help treat the phenylketonuria, the PKU, from what I remember and what I've been told, it was very experimental at the time, so we didn't even know if that would even really work. Did we?
Right. And that was just supposed to be a supplement, and none of the formulas, because I checked them all and even called manufacturers, whatever, none of them had anything to help the development of the brain.
These formulas that give me my protein without the things in it that I'm allergic to, because the things in it that I'm allergic to are what can cause central nervous system problems, mind development issues, a lot of anything and everything just about in the central nervous system all the way up to seizures, and there's a lot of reasons why, because PKU is incurable. why these special formulas need to be drank for nutrition to survive, right? And then with the breast milk, though, and the cerebrosides, that's where things, I think, made a difference.
Yes, it did. It made a total difference in you. And I only was giving you the lefenolec then, like not even every day, maybe a little bit, 3 times a week or something like that. And then when I went back in the clinic, they're like, oh, but we can't measure it. And it's like, I can tell by Andrew's behavior. It's like the time that he was out and crying is when his level was up. All other times, he was the most peaceful baby and fun baby, and to have. But when his PKU and the level went up, he was miserable and he was crying and he was upset and not happy. So I told them I was going to keep doing what I was doing, and I'm sorry that they didn't agree with it. And I explained to them what was in breast milk and the cerebrosides for the development of the brain. And then I checked all these formulas, and none of them had it, and they couldn't find anything that had it either. So they weren't real happy with me, but they were very happy because Andrew's blood levels went down to like 1 and 2, which is like right at the bottom, the least they could probably be. So they couldn't really say a whole lot about what we were doing. But I did give him a little of the lefenolec, so he had the other nutrition, whatever they have in there for him.
An open heart, a willing smile, and then time fashions.
So, Mom, here we are out in the woods.
Yep.
So, when I was a baby,
Yes.
now we were talking about this a little bit yesterday, but okay, so basically from what I remember, and both you've said this and my father have said this, was that you were taking your breast milk,
Yeah.
okay, and then you were freezing it. Is that correct? Now, the doctors did not recommend you to do this, right? They said no.
They just wanted you to have that nasty lefenolec stuff.
The horrible tasting gross formulas, which didn't have the cerebrosides in them.
Right. No formula had that.
Okay. Now,
And what cerebrosides do is aid brain development.
they aid brain development.
I
Okay.
thought if you got PKU, having something that adds brain development would be the best thing for you to have.
Okay. Yeah. So, tell me a little bit about that. When I was 3-4 years old and the doctors wanted to take me off of the diet, the PKU treatment plan, which was, of course, me avoiding all proteins and you having to drink the special formula, but you also had breastfed me as a baby, which helped with the mind development. So tell me, when they were wanted to take me off the diet, what did you do?
I didn't. I didn't take you off the diet. And I basically told him, I said, if we were having problems, like if you were like fighting everything about the diet and that wasn't going well, I said, but we aren't. We've got a thing worked out here, and he likes what he's eating, and he feels like he's got like the same as everybody else is on their plate. That's why I always make it look that way. And I said, if we were having problems, it'd be different, but we're not. So the brain still keeps developing, and I knew that from my work and my studies. I mean, the brain keeps developing for a long time. Now they're even saying longer, like 21 or
25, I've even heard. Yeah.
So I thought, this is not the time to do that. And I said, if we were having problems, that'd be one thing. But we weren't. We had it all worked out, and you were doing very well. You weren't unhappy with anything. I could make you chocolate chip cookies that were okay for you, that were same but low, very low.
I think one of the things that helped me get through that was all those special foods I used to make.
Yeah.
You know?
But I figured if I can make the stuff, he likes it. He doesn't look different from all the other people. I mean,
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, like, because when I was a kid, I struggled a lot with that, especially when I became a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
And about being different. Now, as an adult and an author and a creative, I love being different. I embrace it. We're not as deep into the Pine Barrens as we were when we were filming Haunted.
Yeah.
That was really, really in the Pine Barrens. That was like in the middle of nowhere. Nowheresville. But yeah. But anyway, I think the main thing about the PKU and everything is that what makes it unique, and I'm going to turn this camera around, so I'm going to try here.
Okay.
Oops, look at this. I have my beverage there. Okay, what makes the three-letter story as unique as it is the fact of your defiance of the doctors back when this particular condition, phenylketonuria, PKU, was so little of it was understood.
And it was fairly recently that they could identify it.
Right.
You know, like they started testing all the babies and stuff.
Right, and so, you know, and I think because of the breast milk, which has a lot of protein in it, but also has the cerebrosides that you blended with the formula,
Right.
and also the protein-restricted diet, I think, made all the difference.
Yeah, I know they didn't want to trust me, but I figured as your mom, I had much more at stake than they did.
Oh, definitely. We all had stuff at
This
stake.
is my kid. I'm gonna do what I think is absolutely best for him. And it's not like I had worked with people with disabilities. I had studied brain development and all that kind of stuff. You know? And it's like
Sure.
I didn't know anything about it. I belonged to La Leche League, so I knew all about nursing babies and what was in the breast milk and what they could have. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah.
Well, there you go. See,
I
so
know they
three
weren't
letters
happy with me.
Well, three letters isn't just my story; it's both of our story because it also kind of shows all that. Mom, you're picking up sticks. Tell me about the sticks.
I pick up sticks all the time because our trees shed. And so I'm always picking up sticks. And then I can use them in the wintertime
Oh.
to start fires in the fireplace.